Hey everybody, it's Tman. I'm going to be checking out a new section of trail that the Heritage chapters got pretty much completed. And I'm checking out from the Upson junction to the Sullivan Fire Road up by Foster Falls. And I'm starting out here on Casey Sag Road. If you go that way, you get to the gold mine in about a mile. And if you go this way, here, you get to Upson Lake in 1.4 miles. But the new section of trail will start about 0.8 of a mile from now at the Upson Junction. Okay, we're up to a spot here where there's this big rock next to the trail. I kind of call it the whale rock. Kind of because it might be, looks kind of the size of a small whale. But anyway, on my first outing at the Heritage chapter, the first time I came to work on the trail, it was at this section of trail right here that we did. And there should be a boardwalk coming up really shortly. And I had been working on this boardwalk up here on the first work weekend. So this kind of brings back memories of the first time that I came up. Here it is. And in fact, there was a big mound of dirt right here in front of the boardwalk that we kind of had to flatten down. So that was one of the challenges. But here it is. It said on my first work week way back in, I think it was 2012. Wow, look at the shelf mushrooms on that tree. That's pretty wild. It's a big tree. Not sure what type of tree it is, but it's got some shelf mushrooms on it. Just off the trail here. One thing I want to say about this section, it's pretty immaculately groomed here. I think it's maybe Bethany or Joe takes care of this section, and it's pretty well done. I brought my loppers with me, but I haven't had to lop too much. The only thing that I've kind of lop is stuff that might be a trail obstruction in a year or two. Here's a limb right here that might get low enough, so I'm going to trim that. But as I look at it, it's just very, very nitpicking stuff that I'm lapping. We're coming up to this spot that I think was a deer stand for somebody at one point. So there it is. It looks to be like a deer stand anymore. Here's, I'm at the Upson Junction right here. And here's Cody's bench that he made for his Eagle project here. Right there, I got all my stuff laying on right now. And here's the logbook box here. Here's the little signs I made as kind of a temporary sign, you know, until we get some wooden ones erected in this area. We're going to have wooden size signs that are routed, hopefully coming up within the next year or so. This way here goes back to Upson Lake Road. You can hike up here from Upson Lake Road. You go to the end of Upson Lake Road and there's a turnaround. Just kind of park around there someplace and you can hike up to this point. It's 0.6 miles. And actually it's got a blue blaze there, but that should be changed to a white blaze because now that's becoming a side trail instead of the main North Country Trail. And up here, as you can see, we got a blue blaze going that way. Right here's the logbook box, and I was just looking at some of the stuff so far this year, we've had quite a few people hike it, and going back several pages, I guess this was the first one here on 4719, Roger Musket, I believe his name is, and we've had Jingles here. Over here, Paul and Janet hiked, I guess there says nice stuff about the bench, the Eagle Project, and Amanda and Dante were here on June 16th. They hiked to the Upson Lake Lookout. So we've had quite a few people with SCORE here. We're working more with SCORE. Dar and Janet discovered the gold mine. Tom Podlesny was here. That's great. Glad that he helped chainsaw part of this. So that's good. Bill Menke was here, and Annie Nelson. She's been hiking the whole North Country Trail. So she's made it over here too. www.wildstory.site, I guess, blogs and video. So I'm going to be putting my name in there, and I'll be hiking up to the Upson Lake overlook. This is the first section right here that we started working on with the AmeriCorps going up this way. So again, this is the start of the new section of trail. We used to have to cross the creeks on clumps of grass, and now they've got a little boardwalk over it, so that'll be good. We're coming right up to it right now. Like I said, this is what I call the Clumpity Creek. It's got the clumps of grass. You can kind of see what I'm talking about here. That's how we crossed the creek, was on these clumps. There doesn't appear to be much of a creek here at the moment. It looks wet, but I don't actually see any water. It looks like one big muddy creek, one big muddy area. Then when we come up over here on the other side, I remember a rock right here. Right here's the rock. And then we go uphill from here. And this little section here going up the hill was very much one of our first big challenges when we had the AmeriCorps working with us. They built the trail here going up the hill right here, and it was kind of a challenging experience for the AmeriCorps, but we got through it. Curves around here. Then if I remember correctly, a ways up this hill here, there's a tree that's fallen over that we used to have lunch on a couple times. Oh, here's that big tree right here. Yeah, that's the tree we had lunch on a few times. Sat down, ate our lunch, and there's the down tree right here. Let's see if I can do anything about that. I only got my little lopper, so I doubt if I can do much. We'll see what happens. Traveling on top of this hill for a little while, and we're coming up to the spot here with the pipe. It's the geological marker, and you've got a little bit of a view here, but it's kind of a view of the forest. But right here is the geological marker. It's a corner of a quadrant right there. So that's kind of an interesting deal. Then down here just a little bit is where we take the sharp corner for the switchback, and then we're going down the hill. Sometimes it looks really, really wooded here and you can't see, but when we're doing this from this vantage point, I've seen Upson Lake down the hill there at this vantage point, but there's too much greenery right at the moment. But here we're turning and going down the hill here on a switchback with a lot of benching. And to tell you the truth, this was the biggest challenge that we had when we were working with the AmeriCorps here, doing the switchback going down the hill. This is a toughie here. And luckily on that day, Ellie and Kevin from the Chequamegon chapter came and helped us. So we had some new people here to interact with the AmeriCorps, and that worked out great that they, you know, had, so it wasn't the same old people working with them that they were tired of already. They had some new and exciting people with, you know, a little bit different background helping them out. And here's the other corner of a switchback right here. And then I remember there's another down tree right around this corner that we ate lunch with Kevin and Ellie. Right down here was our lunch spot when they were with us. So, you know, good memories. Like I said, this is a challenging section of the trail that we're doing with the AmeriCorps, but we got through it, and we're all better because of it. All right, we came down the hill from the pipe, and we're at the bottom, and we're at another creek here. This is the creek that when we were trail building that I called the Rocky Creek, because you'd before this little bridge was here, you would cross the creek on, you know, by stepping across the rocks. But right now there's not even any water here. You can't even, it's all another example of a mud hole. It's all muddy. So here we go, and we're coming up here, and now we got another huge hill to go up, and the trail takes a left down here and goes up to this hill, right, kind of a zag going up that way right there. So after the Rocky Creek, it kind of takes a left and goes diagonally up the hill till you get to this spot. We need a turn signal on that tree right there. And then I always thought the trail was going out that way, but no, the trail takes a sharp right here and goes this way. All right, we're coming up to the trail for the overlook, which is right here. You can see all the ribbons on the tree marking it. And right here's another one of those signs I made. It says Potato River and Foster Falls going straight that way. And we pretty much got the trail now all the way up to there, to the Sullivan Fire Road, which is right before Foster Falls. And but we're going to come down here and look at the overlook. Here, this is which would be a White Blaze Trail, because it isn't the main North Country Trail, it's a side trail. For maybe about 50 to 75 yards, and then we're out at the overlook. So here we go. I see already Cody's got another bench up here that he installed for his Eagle project. So I think this is the third one. I think this is the one that I haven't seen yet. So now I've seen all three of them, and just imagine all the work it took to haul these in here. And there it is, the Upson Lake overlook. Wow. Quite the sight here. Quite the sight. And look at that, wow. Big rocky outcropping here. Nobody's out canoeing or boating on the lake. Right down here there's a big clump of a tree. There was a tree there that we cut down to make a view. It wasn't the most huge tree, it just kind of blocked our view a little bit. So there's the beautiful view of Upson Lake and what we're calling the Upson Lake Overlook. And again, up here is a bench that Cody placed here, mainly because it was probably the best spot that he could chain it to the tree. Because unfortunately, if you don't chain stuff to the tree, people will do something with it, maybe throw it down the hill or whatever. But a great bench. Maybe I should come along and take some of this brush out in front of it so you have more of a view. That's something we can think about doing, just so the bench itself has a good view too. I don't think it would take that much to clear some of the stuff out of here. Alright, I'm just hiking just north of the overlook, and the North Country Trail here comes out on a little forest road right down here. And this is the spot where we finished up with the AmeriCorps. Their time was up, and this is where it officially ended with the AmeriCorps. It was great working with them. It was a learning experience for the Heritage chapter, and certainly was a learning experience for the AmeriCorps crew. But in the end, they learned how to work together a lot better, and we had a good outcome, though it wasn't quite what we expected. Okay, we've been hiking on this bluff for a little while, and this is the spot right here where it turns and starts going down the hill. And I remember this because I was leading the crew on this one for some reason. Mike Stafford could not show up that weekend, and we did this. Actually, we were coming up the hill trail building, but this makes a giant S affair here going down the hill. Alrighty, we're getting down to the bottom of the hill here, and we come out to this road. This is like an old forest road, and it's not an official ATV route, I don't believe, but ATVs still use it. And if you go that way down this road here, you come out at Upson Lake Road. So you could do this as a loop if you wanted to. If you started out at Upson Lake Road and then you went up to the overlook and then you came all the way down here at the north end of the bluff, and just take this road which goes on the bottom of the bluff back to Upson Lake Road. Now here we're going continuing north in the woods here. Water's really scarce now. But here's one little creek that's still got some little puddles right there in the creek. But instead we're going to be headed towards the Potato River within the next like half a mile to 3/4 of a mile. So that will be a good water source right there. There's another creek that doesn't have any water right at the moment. So you can tell right here is where they're going to build a bridge across there, because they've got all the flagging right here. So the roving crew will be in here building a bridge. And on this side again, I think this is where the Whisker built up to right here. This looks all freshly built. All right, we got to the spot where we hike near this rock face right here to the west of the trail. And it's not too far after this. Here's another part of the rock face here. That the trail takes a right and goes down this hill. We're getting to the spot here where it takes a right and starts going down the hill at a pretty fast rate. There's the blade, kind of the two ribbons on the tree means that it's turning. And I can see the Potato River down there through the leaves. But again, we're going fairly fast down this hill here on a switchback. Here's another zag of the switchback here. And there's the Potato River right down there. All of a sudden, it comes into view. Wow. And like I said, we'll be coming right up to it in a minute. Look at the benching they had to do here. I think I recall seeing some photos of them building this section. I remember seeing a photo of them building a uphill section. So thanks again to the Whisker for working with us. Otherwise, it'd take us quite a long time with just the volunteers that we have on work weekends to get this done. All right, here's another zag of the switchback here going down the hill. So we're zigging and zagging down the hill here on this series of switchbacks. And just gonna keep it rolling because I think we're coming right up to the river. At the end of this straightaway here, it looks like the river's right over there. So this is definitely the spot if you're a backpacker. Okay, I always like kind of mentioning where the water is, mainly for like backpackers know where they have a reliable water source. And from now on, you've got a reliable water source right next to you. When we started out this hike earlier today at Casey Sag Road, there was the Gold Mine Creek just on the other side of Casey Sag Road, and that usually is a very dependable water source. So, but then a bunch of other creeks were dried up. But here we're down to the Potato River. Look at that. Right down to the Potato River. So there's a look at it right there. And that's going to be a reliable water source for like the next 2 miles. And then eventually we're going to have the trail built to Potato River Falls. So it's going to be going along the Potato River for a long time here. All right, there's the Potato River. And here's the creek coming into the Potato River. And I do believe this is going to be a site where there's going to be a bridge eventually. I don't see any. Oh, over there's the 2 pink ribbons that Bill Menke put there to indicate a bridge. So there will be a bridge in here eventually. Not sure they have another work week scheduled for later on this year. So maybe that's what he's got planned for the. But these are kind of the most remote bridges that are farthest away from the access point. So here we're coming down here right next to the Potato River, and you can see there's a bunch of lumber. So that must be for building that bridge back up their way, that ways that I was talking about. But here's a boardwalk, or a little bridge right here. We'll take a look at it. Right there, everything seems to be good. Again, he's been using these pads nowadays for the footings of the bridges. So they kind of float and you can adjust them. So they float on top of the ground, so they're not prone to the frost upheaval. So they're a 2019 roving crew. So they did that earlier this year, and just a nice bridge, and he's got it a cable to that tree there. So that's good. Here we go. Still walking next to the river, and we're coming up to the next little bridge or boardwalk here. This is all the stuff's built by Bill Minke's roving crew. That's what they specialize in, is building bridges. So here's it's cabled to that tree. Nice little bridge. Beautiful river here. And here's yet another bridge down here. Looks like kind of a pool in the river, a little pool area. Look at the big rocks in the river. So here's yet another bridge here that they put across. Wow, look at that. It's an incredible, incredible river right here that we have the pleasure of building the trail next to. And hello, how you doing? Oh, it's Mike Stafford. How you doing? Come and look at the. You coming to look at the campsite?
Well,
it's right here.
I will, sure.
Right. We need a post with a name sign on it right here. So we're coming in here, and there's the rock over there, the Tilted Gabbro Rock.
All right.
Which is what the campsite is named after.
Yep.
I thought the campfire area would have been right around here, but that's not where they chose to put it. Okay. Instead, it's up here's one tent pad over here. Okay, this is a real nice tent pad. Come over and look at it.
Oh yeah.
You're right up here above the overlooking the river. You got a big view of the river.
Yeah, nice soft
and
dirt.
Then yeah, they just must have did that. And here's another tent pad. And then over this way we have the campfire area right here. And got some campfire wood for us.
Yeah.
And then down this way here, I thought they might be putting a boardwalk in here, but you just walk through this gully here, and up that way's the latrine.
I see.
So
yeah,
there it goes. There's the campsite.
Yeah, very good. Who's going to try it out first, Todd?
I don't know. We need somebody to try it out first. Yeah. I didn't think I don't really have a tent with me. I do have a hammock, but
well, there's plenty of trees for
yeah, there's plenty of trees for hammocks, that's for sure.
Yeah, nice breeze.
Yeah, so that's the campsite. Good to see Mike Stafford. We talked a little bit, but here's the big boardwalk. Kind of going inland from the river, so we're going away from the river. We got a big boardwalk. Not sure how far it is, but this is a spot where we're getting back close to Casey Sag Road after this. We're going across this boardwalk, and then we go up this little hill, and we can see Casey Sag Road again. And this is the spot where when they bring in all this lumber here, this is since it's close to the road, this is where they brought in all the lumber. So we go up this hill here, and I just can hear a car go by right now. I hear a car on the road. But at any rate, getting up to the top here, then there was a trail going to the left to a little area that we used to go to the road. I thought there was a little trail going to the, oh here's the little trail here. And then I said eventually it goes over, you can't see the road, but it's just a little ways over that way. So there's Casey Sag Road right over there. And this would be a good spot if you want to do a little loop and just walk down Casey Sag Road to where I started today. And that would be probably about a 3 or 4 mile loop that you could do using Casey Sag Road as the connector. All right, we're at the edge of the timber harvest here, and we're at a spot here where there's a big bridge going over a gully here. And this little creek down here does have water, but that doesn't matter because we're just at the Potato River, and we're kind of going inland from the Potato River right now, but we'll eventually be hiking next to it again. So there's this like little ridge that's a little ways away from the Potato River that we're running on here. So maybe the part right next to the river is too swampy to have a trail. There's the Potato River. You finally get a little bit of a glimpse of it through all the foliage there. It's just over there a few feet. Like I said, it's just scrublands here where you can't really see the river very much. Still can't see the river right here. So, but nice trail here. A nice trail getting you in close to the river, and if you're a fisherman, I guess you gotta punch a hole through through the brush here and get to the river if you're gonna be fishing it. So I imagine there will be fishermen using the trail. Here's a little spot where you can see the river. I walked off the trail just a little bit, and there's this little opening. You can see it's all brushy and scrubby right next to the river. There was a little opening, so I went over and looked at the river right there. Looks fairly shallow. And here we're back on the trail again. Here's the spot where I think there's a bend in the river. You can see the river is back over that way, and then it must go way over there. And then it looks like we're coming up to the river again. So this is kind of a bend in the river, and he's kind of shortcutting the bend by just cutting across here. And maybe that'd be a good site for a campsite right there. The bend in the river campsite. But anyway, it looks like we're coming back up to it. right over here again. Yeah, there it is over that way. You can just barely see it. Oops, look at what we got here. We got a bridge over a creek. So we're making some progress because there's about 5 bridges like this within the last half a mile before the Sullivan Fire Road. So I am making some progress and getting up to the Sullivan Fire Road. Again, just a nice hike in the woods. We don't have the trail blazed yet, but that's going to be one of our projects for this weekend. We just have these orange ribbons marking the trail, but I think tomorrow we'll be planning having to decide what tree the blaze is going to be on. I usually like, for instance, this one's pretty prominently where you can see it good. That's usually a tree that I'd like to have a blaze on, where you actually see the tree prominently. Then you'll be able to see the blaze good too. So here we go. Looks like we're coming up to the second boardwalk here really shortly, so we'll keep the camera rolling for that. Right here, and I thought we'd be seeing the potato again on the east side of the trail. It's over there a little ways, but you just can't see it. So that boardwalk looked good. Alright, we're up to a spot where the trail is relatively close to the river. There's the river right over there. You can see it right through the hole in the leaves there. Another view of it. Oh, here's the tree, the branch that fell down. I'm going to take that off the trail. Here's a little path going out to the river that somebody made. So, wow. I don't know if somebody made it or if it's a deer path or what it is. Or maybe it's a fisherman's path. Well, there's the river right there. And that's just off the North Country Trail. North Country Trail's right here. So, it looks like it's been there a long time. So, maybe it's something where the deer used to cross the river. Who knows? But there's some more sections of the river right through there, and we're up to another boardwalk. So look at that. This one looks good. There's the river there. Now it looks like we're taking a right and kind of going up a hill. That boardwalk's good. That's, oh, here, you got a great view of the river right here. That's great. You can hear the river going through the little rapid area. We're coming up to another bridge here. This is a little drainage creek going into the Potato River, which is right there. Ever since that one boardwalk that you climbed up the little hill afterwards, we've been getting some good views of the Potato River. So that's good. There's a little rocky area right there for some reason. There's all sorts of rocks there. And see where we're going now. Oh, it looks like we're coming out to the Sullivan Fire Road, just like that. Boom. We're out to the Sullivan Fire Road. and we're done. So that's good. And we'll come down here. There's my car's just parked right there. We'll come and take a look at the river down here. And then down that way, oops, there's a, I don't know what type of bird that is. Some sort of duck. But down that way is Foster Falls. I think those rocks there are kind of at the top of Foster Falls. I was at the Sullivan Fire Road, so I decided, oh, might as well come check out Foster Falls again. It's a beautiful spot. This is the top part of Foster Falls right here. You can see the river coming around, doing a little bend here. And then if we go over here, we'll probably be able to see the main chute of Foster Falls coming down this way. I'm going to take my time going down this little rock here. Looks a little dicey here. And so that's the top part of the falls. And then this over here is what I call the chute, where it goes down through here. And then at the bottom is kind of the pool underneath Foster Falls. So that kind of gives you the layout of the waterfall. Just a cool spot here. And then, like I said, when the water's high, there's another little waterfall over here. Now it's just a trickle, it looks like. But sometimes when the water's high in the spring, the water's gushing through there too. So that's the layout of Foster Falls. I think I see my car coming up right down there. So that's good news. I'm almost back to the car, and I'm gonna meet up with Mike, and we're gonna go off for supper. So there we go.